Good morning, students. Today's class is going to be on the last parts of the first chapter, which is the conflict approach and the medical gaze. Okay, so these are the last two topics in the first chapter. So let's see what the conflict approach is about. This is very similar to what you studied in the second year, what was called as medicalization. Okay, what is medicalization? Medicalization means when a person suffers from a problem which is not medical. For example, an alcoholic, he drinks a lot. It is not a medical problem. But slowly the medical profession has converted alcoholism into a medical problem, and they have started giving treatment to the person who drinks a lot. So a social issue and an individual problem has become a medical problem. This is called as medicalization. So this is where the conflict approach comes. So according to conflict theory, physicians or doctors have made sure that social problems have become medical problems. Okay, so why did they do it and how it can be overcome? What are the advantages and disadvantages are what we are going to see in this topic. So we already know that the health system and the healthcare system in our country as well as in other countries are unequal. That means everybody who is sick is not treated equally by the healthcare system. There are so many inequalities in the health system. Just like we have social inequalities in the society, the healthcare system also makes sure that these inequalities are present when a sick person is being treated. For example, these inequalities are based on social class, caste, religion, race, ethnicity and gender. That means based on your money power, based on your caste, based on your religion, there are inequalities in the healthcare system. If you are a high caste or a powerful rich person, then you get better healthcare. If you are a poor person from a low caste and you have less influence, then you are not able to get equal healthcare. That is why it is thought that people from disadvantaged and poor backgrounds, like if they are poor, if they don't have a good job, if they are from a low caste, when they become ill, it is very difficult for them to become normal again, because they do not get enough health care benefits. Also, they do not get enough health care. So this is the difference in the health and healthcare between different kinds of people. Okay, so in this scenario, the conflict approach tells that the physicians or the doctors have made a lot of non-medical problems into medical problems. They have converted social problems into medical problems. So why do they do this? The main reason why they do this is, if you look at the good aspects, if you look at the benefits, why does a doctor convert a social problem like drinking and eating disorders into medical problems? Why do they do it? Because they feel that the doctors are the qualified professionals to diagnose and treat people with these problems. Though these problems are social problems, they can lead to medical complications. For example, if a person is an alcoholic, it can cause damage to the liver and the person can even die. If a person is a smoker, it can lead to lung cancer. So the doctors are doing good by converting these social problems into medical problems, so that in the early stage of alcoholism or smoking, the person can be corrected instead of having serious diseases. So this is the good side of the medicalization and converting social problems into medical problems. But on the negative side, what are the negative things? What will happen is, the people in the society are already poor, so it is difficult for them to get treatment for all these problems also. That is the first thing. The next thing is, not all doctors try to do good to the society. Why they are doing converting social problem into medical problems is so that they can become they can improve their financial status by treating more people. Okay, so if you take some private hospitals for example, they charge a lot of money in de-addicting programs. So that means they are trying to make the alcoholic pay a lot of money to overcome his alcoholic problem. So ultimately, if these problems, social problems, become medicalized, what will happen is their social roots as well as social solutions are neglected. Only the medical solutions are given priority because the problem itself has been medicalized. So the social roots as well as social problems are all ignored, and only the medical treatment is given priority. So let us look at some of the examples for this conflict theories, why the conflict theory is criticized. First, let us look at alternative medicine. What is alternative medicine? Yoga, Unani, Ayurveda, homeopathy, all these are alternative medicines. They are slowly becoming popular in our country. But the medical professionals or doctors are not happy about this, and they feel that these treatments, homeopathy treatment, Ayurveda treatment, are all not enough to cure a patient. The doctors feel that these homeopathy treatments, alternative therapies, are ineffective and sometimes even dangerous to the patients. This may be true in some examples, but at the same time, it is not 100% correct to say that alternative therapies do not work. So some doctors tell negative things about alternative therapy so that they can actually improve their own clinics. So that is why they do that. Next, we'll go to eating disorders. So there are a lot of young women and girls who eat very less, and they want to maintain their body, they want to be lean, so that they are like the models and celebrities they watch on television. So there are also eating disorders like they eat and then they vomit the food out. That is a medical problem. So these disorders are usually treated by a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a medical professional. This actually needs medical intervention, because some of the people who do not eat or eat and then vomit out, they can become very lean, dehydrated, and they can even have anemia and other problems. But it can be easily solved by the family members' intervention. It need not have a doctor's intervention. So this conflict theory says such eating disorders, doctors are going and intervening because it gives a good source of income for the professionals who treat this disorders. So that is the reason the conflict theory says that eating disorders are treated by doctors and not by the family members itself. Next, we come to obstetric care. That means when a woman is pregnant, when she is going to deliver a child, we know that many years back only the midwives were delivering the child. It was not the OG doctor. But now all the deliveries are conducted by OG doctors only, and the midwives do not conduct deliveries. And even the government has made laws to say that only OG doctors should conduct delivery. Okay, so there may be genuine reason that a lot of children were dying when the midwives were conducting the deliveries, because they were not trained properly. But at the same time, it should also be understood that the medical professionals who conduct deliveries make a lot of money with this, with their own by conducting deliveries themselves and not involving the midwives. So that means only they are allowed to conduct deliveries. So according to conflict theory, they created laws so that they are the only professionals who will be involved in conducting deliveries, and midwives are not allowed to conduct deliveries. The next one is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. This is a disorder that a lot of children are diagnosed with. Some 100 years back, if a child was hyperactive, what would the parents say? The parents would say that the child is very active and they will give a lot of other activities for the child, and there was not any medical treatment. But now the ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is being considered as a medical disease or a medical disorder, and there is a drug called Ritalin which is helpful in reducing this hyperactivity. Okay, and the drug companies which produce this medicine makes a lot of money by spreading the medicine across the world, and the doctors who treat the children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder also make a lot of money. So there is possibly a conflict theory here, that even though the child may live, it is not a fatal problem, it can have some negative effects, but it is not going to affect the child in too many ways. But there are medical professionals as well as pharmaceutical companies that make a lot of money by treating the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So this is the conflict theory. This is what the conflict theory talks. It says that there are social problems which need not be treated medically are being treated medically so that professionals will benefit from it. So that is the conflict theory. Now we have seen the negative aspects of the conflict theory. Now we will see what are the supports for the medicalization and arguments against the conflict approach. So it is thought that people through the conflict theory think negatively of the doctors, but it may not be really true. The doctors may really have the welfare of the patients and the other people in the mind when they say that alcoholism is to be avoided, eating disorders is to be avoided, treated, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder has to be treated, and pregnant women have to have only deliveries conducted by OG doctors. So most of the doctors genuinely feel that the benefit will go to the people if they get treated for these disorders. So though the conflict theory says that the doctors are doing this for the sake of earning a lot of money, it is not always true. Most of the doctors have a social responsibility and they feel for the benefit of the society they are doing all this, and unscientific methods of alternative therapies, of midwives conducting delivery will actually harm the patients. So this is the positive side of medicalization, and it is anti-conflict theory. It is against the conflict theory. So even though the physicians will obviously earn some money, it is because they want the society to become better. So this is what the conflict theory talks about. So next we'll go to the Foucauldian concept of medical gaze. Medical gaze is one of the questions that you will get in your exam. In previous question papers you have got what is medical gaze and explain medical gaze. Okay, so before I go into medical gaze, I'll just like to give an introduction of who created this concept of medical gaze. So Michel Foucault, who is a French person, he was the one who described this new kind of medicine in his book, which was called The Birth of the Clinic, The Medical Gaze. So he is not a person who just talked about the medical gaze. He was a person who was living in France many years back, hundreds of years back, and he saw that in the society some people had a lot of power and they were controlling the society, which is like social control. And through social control, some people in the society were maintaining the other people. So he felt that these people were becoming powerful because they were controlling the other people, and he found that there were several areas in which this kind of control was shown. One is in the human sexuality, other one is in the crime and punishment, and thirdly in medicine. So in medicine, the social power that is wielded by the doctors came to be known as medical gaze. Okay, so let us see what the medical gaze is all about. I'll just give a simple explanation. If you go to a doctor and tell about your medical problem or disease, what does the doctor do? The doctor looks at you first, and then the doctor listens to you. Okay, so looking at you is called observation, and listening to you is also one type of observation. So this is what medical gaze is all about. So why does the doctor look at you and observe you? The doctor wants to identify what disease you have and to diagnose the disease. So by looking at you and listening to you, the doctor is diagnosing the disease. That is called medical gaze. Okay, medical gaze is how the doctors look at you. Okay, so now we'll go into a little more technical analysis. In the concept of medical gaze, doctors will, when you go as a patient to a doctor and give your own complaints or symptoms, what does the doctor do? He does not take every word seriously. For example, the doctor will ask you as soon as you go to him, what is your problem? You may start by saying, yesterday I went to my market, there I fell down, and when I fell down, my knee hit one stone, and after that it started paining. So the doctor is not interested where you fell down and what hit your leg. He is interested in where you got the injury and what is the current status now. Okay, so when you tell your complaints or symptoms to the doctor, he does not take every single word seriously. He takes only what is important information to him, and only that goes into the mind of the doctor. Okay, so that is another aspect of medical gaze. So the doctor listening to you filters out all the unnecessary information, and his mind takes in only the relevant important information. That is called the biomedical model. He takes out all the other non-biomedical information which you are giving the doctor, and only the important medical information goes into the mind of the doctor, and that is used by the doctor to make a diagnosis and make a treatment method for you. Okay, so this is what is an important aspect about medical gaze. So the other aspects of medical gaze is, the doctor will also look at your body while talking to see if there is any abnormality or if you are normal in your behavior. Then the doctor will also do a physical examination other than listening to you and talking to you. During the physical examination also, the doctor looks at your body to find if there is any abnormality or any disease or any symptoms. Then these days the doctor also sends your blood or for testing, and also the doctor may send you for radio imaging or x-rays and other imaging technologies. So all this is also looked by the doctor. So when the doctor gazes or looks at all these things, the doctor will be able to determine what caused your disease. So by looking at you, by listening to you, by looking at your x-rays, by looking at your blood test reports, and by examining you, the doctor will make a diagnosis, and then the doctor will do the relevant treatment. During all this process, all the unnecessary information that you give, unnecessary things are not in the mind of the doctor. He only takes in what is relevant to your physical problem or your disease. So this is called medical gaze. So it is not like a person, any person looking at you. When your father and mother looks at you, how do they look at you? They look at your head to see if your hair is normal. They look at your body to see if you have eaten your food. They look at you to see if you walk normally. So when your parents look at you, they look at you in a different way. When your friends look at you, they look to see if you are smart, if you are handsome, if you are fit. That is what they look. So when a medical professional looks at you when you are sick, they look at you to identify the disease and treat the disease. So the way in which they look and remove all the unnecessary information from their mind and taken only the relevant information is called as medical gaze. The next aspect of medical gaze is that sometimes the doctors may need to even surgically open your body. Okay, that is called surgery. So when there is some serious disease, they will open your body, and previously, many years back, this was something which was not really thought possible, but now every now and then a lot of people undergo surgery to get cured of their disease. So not only does a doctor look at you, but he also cuts you open and clears the doubt to see if you have any serious medical problem. So using the medical gaze, the physician not only is reading the medical books like many years back, but he looks at your individual body to identify what is wrong with your physiology and what pathology has happened in your body, and based on that they will treat you. So that is the advancement in medical science. So other than this, as knowledge grows, more and more doctors are specializing, so they are able to describe various diseases. Some diseases, like for example, if we were living 100 years back, this coronavirus would not even have been identified so quickly. But now, within few months, we know so much about the coronavirus. That is because the doctors look systematically at each disease, and then they use medical terms to identify problems. For example, we know coronavirus causes lung problems, so we call it pneumonia. So it is a problem that occurs in the lungs. It also causes inflammation. So these are all medical terms which doctors use to describe the disease. So when they use such terms, medical terms or medical terminology, it helps the doctors to communicate among themselves and find the best solution for a disease. Okay, so that is another aspect of medical gaze. So the use of this medical language or medical terminology has improved the specialization in the field of medicine. So they are able to treat a lot of people, and the medical profession is 90% successful in treating the people with various health problems. So the importance of the medical gaze we are able to understand because the doctor is looking at you through the medical gaze, he is able to identify your diseases and treat the diseases. So this is what medical gaze is all about. So if they are able to identify whatever problem you are having just by talking to you, by looking at you, by doing surgery for you and identifying the medical problem, that is diagnosis, and then treating the medical problem. So this, when they do this sort of looking at you and identifying and treating diseases, they take only what information is relevant to their diagnosis and treatment, and they leave out all the other information. So that is the importance of medical gaze. Thank you. So we have finished the first chapter. We'll start soon on the second chapter.